Rally today.
The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So all members are present. We do have a quorum. There are no public notices. Everyone has the minutes. They were pretty short. Everyone read them. Any questions in reference to the minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as they are.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Abstain, I was not present at the last meeting.
Thank you.
I have to abstain, I was not.
Perfect. That still carries. Motion carries. Thank you. Looking at tonight's agenda, we do have new business. We have an area variance. Mark Doug.
Douglas Mark.
Douglas Mark, okay. So this is for an application for an area variance on the property owned by Douglas Mark. This property is located at 53 Lawson Lake Road, tax map number 141.1-50. So the first thing we need to do is accept this application. I need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to accept the application from Doug Mark.
I'm going to interrupt you before we accept it. Can you just tell us a little bit about this application before we?
Actually, I can tell you in general, if there's any specifics that I.
Sure, absolutely.
But in general, I can let you know what's going on.
If you don't mind just going up to the podium. And if she wants to do it for you, that's fine, just to give us an idea what this is.
I'm just going to do general and specifics.
Dawn is here to represent
Perfect.
Doug, yes.
Thank you.
With the project.
So anyway, like I said, any specifics on the actual building or what was going to go on there, hopefully, that would be for her. But in general, what happened was last July, we had a fire. Basically, completely totaled the house. Myself and my wife were able to get out. But all we were looking to do is to put a modular on the property that we've been at for 30 years. So we're not changing anything. In fact, it's smaller because we had bought the house, which had also been there for 20 years before that, because we were raising a family. So at this point, it's the two of us. So we got a modular and put it in the same basic area. But that's what we were looking to do. So specifics, I will leave to her.
So they're short on side variance, the side lines. This is my husband's job, but I got stuck here. He knows. They don't have enough room between the property next to them and the side of the house. So he's looking to get a variance to put the house there so that, I don't know the exact number, but it is on the application that he needs. It's a pretty substantial amount. It's close to the property. So that's basically what it is. It doesn't have enough room. There's no other way to put it on the property that would make it work unless we can get the variance.
Without getting this. Jason, I don't have any of that in front of me. What is the distance that they're missing?
They're missing 5 feet. They need 5 feet of relief of side yard setbacks on each side. Also lot area.
My copy.
Because they're not 80,000 square feet.
Nope. It's okay as long as.
But there was a house there for the last 50 years before the fire.
Yes. So
Same footprint.
when the fire happened, they pulled a demo permit and removed everything, and turns back into vacant land. And this is why he has to come
So
here.
it's
and
not grandfathered in because of that.
Correct, because it is all gone.
Okay.
Dougie, how old is the house that burnt down?
The part that, some of it is probably close to 100 years old, But most of it, I would say it'd be around 40, 45.
Did we have zoning back then, 45?
Zoning was from the sixties,
1960.
Yeah, they probably would have something.
but if it was over 100 years, then no. But
So, Mr. Mark, first and foremost,
It's gotta be like at least 60, 70 years old. It's been there for a very long. Yeah, but it doesn't matter now, cause it's Yeah. vacant lot.
Correct.
so it's starting from scratch.
Yeah, well, everything, yeah, it was total loss. So that's-
I'm sorry about
Sorry, that was a
that.
total loss, so.
Yes, I'm very sorry about that. No, that's fine.
Just go into hardship.
Can I have a motion to accept that application?
I'll make a motion to accept the zoning area variance application for Douglas Mark, application 25-001 ZAV for 53 Lawson Lake Road, tax map 141.1-50.
Second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we can, this is an unlisted action, type 2 action. So we can act as lead agency and declare this a type 2 action. And we can, Jason, actually, we spoke, he sent it to the county already, so that speeds up the process as, well, he has the paperwork all ready and set, so we're all good with that. So I need I'll make a motion that we act as lead agency, and this will be a type 2 action.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anyone opposed? And no further discussion on that. Motion carries. Jason, you send that to county, we'll be good to go. We can,
Yes, because I did make this similar.
perfect. We can probably schedule a public hearing for that then. We can have the public hearing before we hear back from county, or we should,
You can, you just, Madam Chair, you can't finally act. So you can, and Jason and I were trying to work that out. Jason, where did we end up on those dates? The 25th, is that the meeting that you were targeting for potentially?
Yes, the 25th is our meeting. County will see it on the 18th. So I
So that
will,
would allow the board to potentially act if the county planning board acts.
because I will have recommendations for the 25th.
so we'll know by then. So if we want to schedule that public hearing then, and you have enough time to get it out and published and noticed?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'll need a motion then for the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to schedule the public hearing for the zoning area variance at 53 Lawson Lake Road, the property owned by Doug Mark, for the June 25th regular zoning and planning board meeting at 7 p.m.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. So you're all set on that. It's sent to county, so we'll hear back if there's any recommendations from county. And at our next meeting, notices are gonna go out to the public, just informing them what you're asking for. It's pretty straightforward. We'll open the mic to anyone from the public if they show up. And go from there.
So at that point, people obviously can say whatever they needed to say, but would some sort of a decision be made at that meeting?
Eventually.
I don't see why not, but we'll wait until we hear from county and go from there, until we have all of those, check all those boxes. I can't say yes or no right now. But it
Okay.
does
Now, when you say Dakota County, which county office is that for?
Albany County Planning Board.
Okay.
So they'll look at the application, and if they have any issues with it, they'll give recommendations to us and go from there.
Doug, did you already buy the new house?
What's that?
Did you already buy the new house?
We put money down, but
Put a deposit on it?
basically, they can't do anything until we had a permit.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Do you have any other questions?
That was good. Thank you. The 25th.
Thank you. You are very welcome. Okay, Going on old business, the Tanner M. Frangella, I had spoke to Mr. Gaston about that, and he doesn't have maps ready, so we're not gonna address anything on that tonight. We do have old business, for the site plan review for the application for the site plan and a special use permit by the property that's owned by Joyce Maxtad. And we do have someone here in reference to that. Just to bring an update, we did hear back from, I have nothing in my folder tonight, so. We did hear back from Chippo. Oh, I guess I can read it, this. You can pull that up. Give me 1 minute, just
Did you
so I
send
can-
that out email or no?
You did?
Yes. Yes, that went out on May 22nd,
Oh.
I believe. Hold on, I'm checking. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mrs. Grogan is more easier.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a letter. This is from Jessica Schreier. And I can read it just for the record. This was dated on May 29th. Dear Joshua Rogers, thank you for requesting the comments of the Division for Historic Preservation of the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. We have reviewed the submitted materials in accordance with the New York State Historic Preservation Act of 1980. These comments are those of the Division for the Historic Preservation and relate only to historical cultural resources. They do not include potential environmental impacts to New York State parkland that may be involved in or near your project. The OPRHP has reviewed the updated plan showing the private cemetery near the proposed facility. We recommend that the cemetery and a 25-foot buffer be marked with orange snow fencing and signage during construction to prevent inadvertent impacts to the cemetery. We note that there are 3 historic properties within the immediate project area for potential visual impacts. These include the State and National Register eligible Victorian residence at 1302 Route 143 and the State and National Register listed Little Red Schoolhouse and the Israel Shear House. Due to the facility's siting, topography, and existing vegetative screening, it appears that visual impacts are minimized. Based on this review, it is the opinion of the OPRHP that the proposed project will have no adverse impact to historic resources within the condition that the private cemetery is marked and fenced during construction. If you have any questions, you can reach me at, and she gave her email. Thank you. So that answered one of our questions that we had on our to-do list. I think the only other thing with the coordinated review that we're waiting for is Albany City. We haven't heard from them, correct?
Yeah, the water department. I
Yeah.
can speak to that quickly. So Amy had reached back out to me, basically just requesting that we identify their water line on our plans. And that we have matting and temporary air bridge for construction. So our civil engineers are just kind of modifying our plans to include that transmission main. And then we should be good from there. We'll share it with Bill and Amy at the water department, and I think that would satisfy all the requests, but we'll share it with them and we'll go from there.
Please make sure to share that with MJ also.
With MJ, yes, I will.
Yeah. I don't believe we had any other requests that we had asked for, because we heard from the pipeline. We just got Chippo, and the City of Albany, I think, was the only other thing. And you guys did a site visit. So.
And I guess one other update to just mention. So MJ had requested that we reach out to the fire department just to get their approval of safety that they're able to access through the access road that we proposed. And I shared it with the fire chief, so I think he said he just needs a couple weeks or so. He's gonna share it with the rest of his team and get back to us, but his preliminary take was it looks good with the 20 feet. So we just need that confirmation in writing and should be good with that.
Did he go out to the site?
I He didn't really ask to do a site visit.
Okay.
He mentioned he's been on that property before, so he's somewhat familiar. And I shared our proposed design with him and all the information, so.
Okay. Well, everything is proceeding accordingly for you. Bill, what is council's recommendation as far as need to hear back from city?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really helpful in terms of resolving the issue with the cemetery, to hear from SHPO and get that done. The things, Madam Chairwoman, that I'm thinking about are, I think that the applicant probably would ask that the board reaffirm its intent to act as lead agency, recognizing now that the 30-day period has expired for coordinated review. So I certainly think you can do that. I think that the board probably wants to begin to think about, and maybe coordinate it with Jeremy, about having MJ at a meeting to get through the type 1 questionnaire. I think that's typically what this board has done. You might be in a position to start getting that, the answers prepared in a draft form from MJ. I don't think that that's really premature. So I think you're moving in the direction with some of these things. You obviously have the city outstanding and the fire chief outstanding, but I think you can get moving in a direction to make a secret determination here soon, assuming these things fall into place. I don't think this application has yet gone to the county. So what I'm thinking about, as I think about Albany County's form, you might want to think about making that secret determination, and in conjunction with making the determination that night, then refer it to the county. It seems to me that when you have all of that information and you have the secret determination made, that would be an appropriate time to send it to the county. And what I'm thinking about in terms of coordination is you'll have an idea of when the county planning board likely will act, and so you could consider scheduling a public hearing at that time as well. So that's kind of how I see it, sort of on the from here to there, to get it done, if that's helpful.
Seems fair enough to me. So at our next meeting then, we could do all of that, because I can get in touch with Jenny and ask her to be prepared and ready, so we can make a motion for lead agency and type 1 and have her ready and do the seeker that night. Does that sound good to everyone else?
Sounds good to me.
You okay with that?
Yeah, that sounds great. And we should have everything addressed by the next meeting, so.
Okay, so maybe we can close anything that's outstanding up that night, and then we can proceed for you. Any other questions for our board?
No.
Anyone else have anything?
Driving back home tonight?
Okay, so I don't think there's anything else.
Mrs. Rogan, did you just make a motion to become lead agency?
No, we
Okay.
discussed that we'll do it at our next meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking back at the April 23rd meeting. I believe that was the meeting where, and I'll stand corrected if members recall it differently, but the board determined on resolution to initiate the seeker coordinated review, classified it as a type 1 action, and again, declared the intent to be lead agency. So I think we've got that under control. I think we've got to take now the next step. So in that regard, I'd start thinking about the long list of questions and all of the issues that you're going to have to confront to make the final determination of significance. That's what's next.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem at our next meeting where, like, for firmness, I guess, to act as lead, because that was an intent, so that's fine. Does that sound good to everyone else? Okay. All right, so that brings us to the end of our meeting. Thank you for coming up. I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn this meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.